Okay, so ironically, spring storms rolled through this morning, and thankfully they've cleared, but our power actually did go out. So I'm going to go down and get the battery so we can actually use this and plug in some lights. It's morning, so we don't necessarily need a lot of light. There's some sunlight, but yeah, might as well try it out since we've got it. Sorry, my basement is a mess, but we're gonna get some power going. In this current economy and state of the world right now, more people than ever before are considering and purchasing goods to ensure survival through a minor or major catastrophe. I am not a professional survivalist or even a hardcore prepper, but if crap does indeed hit the fan soon, I'd like to have at least some amount of sustainability for my family and I. So I purchased this Bluetti EB3A solar generator with the solar panel to have some sort of power backup, to do basic things like boil water and power a few lights, etc. Now I understand that this is one of the smallest backup generators that they make, and smallest backup generators out there in general. But like most of you, I can't afford a really big, massive battery and solar array that powers my whole home and my heating and my washer and dryer and recharges every day to have completely uninterrupted electricity. You know, it's just so expensive. But at least with this small battery, I can have some security in doing some basic necessities. So I just got this delivered, opened up the only box that came, figuring that had everything. I've only got the power station and not the solar panels. So I'm gonna have to contact them and see where the solar panels are and yeah, find out what's going on. But at least the power station is here. I can at least open this up and check it out. Let's take a look at the specs that the EB3A boasts. It comes with a 600 watt AC pure sine wave inverter and up to 1200 watts on a surge. 268 watt hour capacity, 430 watt max fast dual charging. So this is a combination of solar and AC power. You can charge really fast if you plug it in with both solar and the AC, which is a really cool feature. It's got 2,500 plus life cycles, up to 80%. There are 9 outputs for charging multiple devices, including the wireless charging on the top of the box. It's got a really great smart control Bluetti app, which really lets you control the whole device and, you know, monitor input, output, and eco mode, whatever they call it. As well, there's a 200 watt max solar input, which is significant, and this thing is just a really great portable unit. Something I've personally been thinking about when crap hits the fan, stuff actually goes down, is transportation. Now, if there really is a major, serious, catastrophic event, global meltdown, whatever, and you lose power and you lose the access to petroleum, to charging your electric vehicle, whatever it is, you're not going to be able to operate your vehicle, your gas-powered vehicle, to go get supplies. You know, if there's chaos, you're not going to want to go out anyway. But if you did need some sort of transportation, how can you get that off grid? If you're in need of fresh water, if you're in need of firewood, how are you going to transport that back to your home or back to your place of shelter? There is some good news in the fact that e-bikes are becoming very much more common, very much more accessible, and very much more affordable. At most price ranges, you can get some from anywhere from $500 to $10,000. You can find an e-bike that fits your budget, and conveniently they don't require a lot of energy to charge the battery. So I bought this Bluetti EB3A specifically with that thought in mind, of being able to charge my e-bike off the grid if I need to retrieve fresh water or firewood or goods and services that are required for our survival. And this becomes a very viable option in the case of inaccessibility to petroleum or just overinflated prices of petroleum this is really a great option. Now, of course, there are bigger options out there, but financially, this is the one that made sense for me right now. We're going to charge up this e-bike, see how long it takes, then charge the power bank with solar. Now, this thing already came with a 65% charge. That's not necessarily going to fill up this battery, but it'll start. We'll just see how it goes and if this really is a good option for an off-grid mode of transportation. Okay, so I just received the solar panels, and the company, when they ship directly from the manufacturer, they give you a message and they say, hey, actually the panels and the battery are coming separately. So just beware, if you do plan to buy this, and I'll put a link below, you will have to wait for the second package. This one did come a day after the battery. So just a heads up on that, but no big deal, it did arrive. We're gonna set it up now here in the grass where I've only got a small section of exposed sunlight in the morning here, but it'll, you know, go straight over top. So we're going to set it up and check it out, power up the battery. Got to connect the positive to the positive, of course, and the negative to the negative. And input to our unit. And we're charging. Got the Bluetti EB3A powering my e-bike. And I noticed something that's really cool. The display turns off on the battery unit, thus conserving power. So you don't need to monitor whatever it's doing. I guess there's a way to do that, but that's really nice that they actually have that turn off so it conserves power for you. Really cool. Okay, I've successfully charged my e-bike battery as I assumed I'd be able to. So let's go ahead and ride this thing just to show that it is working and it is possible to really be off-grid and charge your mode of transportation. Now that we have been successful in doing so, let's take a look at the other uses for this EB3A unit.
So with transportation covered to an extent, what good is a small battery actually going to do you? Now let's think about the basics. I mean, forget powering your TV and your internet router to watch Netflix. That's just a luxury, not a necessity, that this certainly isn't going to be able to handle. What you will need to do is boil water for water purification or for cooking, or power small appliances like a microwave to heat up your food. Now that again can be considered a luxury or a very nice amenity to have in a survival situation. You don't necessarily need to boil water in a kettle. You could do it over a fire. Lots of different ways. But when you have a family, going outside in the dead of summer heat and starting a fire to boil water is the least desirable option. I'd rather be down in the basement boiling the water where it's nice and cool and it goes really fast and I can feed the kids really quickly. I'm gonna make a couple more videos in this particular Crap Hits the Fan series of gear that I have bought in preparation for any, I say, minor catastrophic event. I probably could not handle a major catastrophic event at this moment. You don't have to go out and buy $10,000 worth of survival equipment right away. This will do the trick with simple things at a good budget-friendly price. Let's go ahead and try out the water kettle. We're going to boil a full pot of water with the batteries.
Okay, so this instantly tripped the power. It says overload. So I can't boil water with this kettle. That's a real disappointment right now. Because this is supposed to have a 600 watt output and I never even checked. There you go, 1500 watts. You cannot use a 1500 watt kettle on a 600 watt output. Okay, that was a great piece of information for me to find out that I can't use my particular kettle. I bet if there's a smaller, lower watt kettle out there, you could definitely use it. Let's look for a new appliance that might work with this, that we can actually practically use in a survival situation. Now, of course, you can get something like a propane stove and boil water. That also is a very easy thing to do, pending the availability of fuel. But we're gonna find some, I'm gonna find something around here that works. Even the coffee grinder is 170 watts. A coffee grinder. This is going to be harder than I expected to find an appliance that will actually work off of 600 watts. So I didn't actually find any kitchen appliances that would really work on this wattage, but we're going to try it out with just our regular lights for now, because I just don't have any appliances that are rated for this wattage. I am going to order a few different things, like an induction heat cook stove that is rated for 600 watts, and some similar things that are very small but will work in a survival situation off of this power generator. So yeah, I'm really happy with it, honestly, for the price and for its portability, compact size, and what you actually get. And of course, you can power lots of devices and small flashlights, but this thing is great. And please stay tuned for further episodes on this kind of thing, and hopefully I'll be getting a few more to test out with the actual house and all the major appliances.
So charging the battery with the solar panels from 50 to 100% took about an hour and a half, but it is pretty cloudy today, which is actually shocking. And overall, I really do like this unit. I think for the money, it's a great starter piece of gear. I would definitely highly recommend it. Again, I'll put a link below to this unit. I think you're going to really like it, and I think I'm going to really like it, and it could hopefully expand my off-grid solution. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.